All right, today I have Natalie Swift with me and Dakota Whitworth. They are the owners of Harper and Tucker. It's more than just a retail store on Bellevue. Yes, could you two explain a little bit about your business?
Sure. So we are a brick and mortar boutique on Bellevue Avenue, but we also have a website at harperandtucker.com. We actually started online. So recently it's been getting a little bit back to our roots. But we sell women's clothing, accessories, and shoes. And it's really like a beachy bohemian feel. It's a lifestyle boutique. And we're primarily owner operated. So it's Natalie and I in the store most of the time when the store is open. But yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about us.
And we, particularly over the past year, focus on sustainable fashion, which can kind of look at a spectrum of things. So we are very picky and we work with brands that we know are kind of eco-friendly or making steps towards sustainability, whether that's looking at where their products are produced or the fabric content. But we try to partner with like-minded businesses that prioritize, all beings alike.
That's great. And is it you work primarily with people in the US?
A lot.
Yeah.
When it's not in the US, we have kind of a strict guideline that we go by. We love to support US business, and we also, there are just so many reasons why having a US made brand can be a good thing, but that doesn't mean that there aren't amazing brands that are doing great sustainable work in other countries. So we do have some brands that are made in other countries. It's just a little bit, I guess the tricky thing is in the US, we know all of the regulations, so we have to be a little bit more cognizant when it's made somewhere else, just so that we know what the practices are.
And a lot of the brands that we do partner with do a lot of, that's an intent for them, that's a mission for them. So a lot of times they do the homework for us in terms of sending us information on factories, factory locations, really being specific to their own guidelines and who they partner with.
Yeah, it seems, especially in recent years, people have become more and more conscientious of where they are shopping and where their clothing is coming from, and that's great that you guys do that. And you provide not only just clothing, but it seems like you provide the whole package. You have the jewelry that goes with it and the shoes too, right?
Yeah, we do.
Where did you two meet, and what inspired you to get into the industry?
Yeah, so we actually met in college in North Carolina. We went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. We were friends there. And then after we graduated, we took kind of two different routes. We never had thought that we would go into business together. We were just friends, really. And I knew that I wanted to go into fashion. So I started a job at Neiman Marcus in Dallas, Texas, at their headquarters in the buying office. And Natalie went to Colorado and did some nonprofit work. And then we kind of both ended up in Dallas pretty serendipitously. Natalie switched career paths, got a job in Dallas, and then we were just kind of living our life there and having a very corporate, beginning of career lifestyle. And, had our own complaints with that. And so we just kind of started brainstorming and daydreaming about, well, what if we could have a store? What would it look like? And that turned into us spending all of our evenings after work working on it, which turned into really deciding to launch this website. And then that led to us deciding that if we were going to do it, we had to really commit. So we quit our jobs and just went for it. And so we were online for a year. At first we were operating just like out of my apartment. And then we eventually got an office. And then when that was doing really well, we decided it was time to actually have a brick and mortar store, which was kind of our original idea. And so we've always kind of had this thing of both the brick and mortar and the online. We've had like both dreams and wanted both to coexist together. So when it came time to decide if we really wanted to do the brick and mortar, we started deciding about where we would have that. And we decided that Dallas wasn't necessarily the place, even though we loved Dallas and it was a great time being there. And so I'm from Newport originally. Natalie's from California. So we're both from, coastal town. She's from Santa Barbara. And we knew that our style was very much a coastal, kind of East Coast meets West Coast vibe. So it was a natural progression. And then the storefront that we were originally in next to the Tennis Hall of Fame just happened to be available. It was really crazy. Like everything, it all fell into place like so quickly once we made the decision to do the Newport store. It was literally like in 2 weeks we had signed the lease and we're moving. So it was very much a whirlwind at that point.
That's amazing. It's funny how those things happen often, very just kismet, you know? It all falls into place. But that it's interesting what I think it's a very common story amongst our generation, especially, is that, you know, the corporate world doesn't really pan out. And we have to make our own paths in life, you know, make our own businesses. And, but having had, you know, coming from the generation that we are from, the online aspect of everything has helped us get through what's been happening for the past 3 months. You know, I think a lot of businesses that started in the very traditional fashion are now all of a sudden having to jump into it, and they're having a harder time getting online, having that virtual presence. And that's great that you guys already had that in place. That's great. And how long have you been on Bellevue?
So we actually just moved this March, right before everything went down. We just moved. We were down the street across Memorial, right next to the Tennis Hall of Fame. And we opened that shop in September of 2017. Is that right, Natalie?
2017.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 because we opened online in 2016. So we were online for a year, then we opened up in that shop, and then we just moved to this shop this March.
Okay. All right. And how has this whole thing, this COVID-19 pandemic, affected you guys? I mean, seriously, but at least I assume maybe since you started online, you were able to pivot a little bit towards that.
Yeah, we were really fortunate in that sense. We know a lot of times that, you know, we love our brick and mortar presence, and we very much, when we moved into that original space in Newport and even just opening this new space in Newport, it really absorbs you in terms of just, you've become, you know, dedicated to the ins and outs of operating that in-store business. And so we always prioritize online, but at the same time, particularly going into a busy season into Newport, you really kind of focus on that brick and mortar experience. And so what this really, when everything happened and we closed the shops, and we closed a little bit earlier, just kind of anticipating that it was going to happen anyway, we just really pivoted and focused in on our online presence, and kind of these projects that we had in the back of our mind that we wanted to do but just didn't have the time for when you're just operating an in-store storefront. We're now able to really dive in and kind of launch some new initiatives for our online presence.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely had the foundation laid out already. We, you know, the operations of it, we always publish products, all products are going to be online and in store. So it's just more so, what can we do to add on to the online shopping experience that we were already providing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
I feel like we were very lucky that a lot of stores, it comes down to as technical as what system you use and whether you have, like, if everything is streamlined. And it really was luck at some point that, you know, the system we originally went with is still, you know, one of the best systems to this day to get online. So we were already running all of that before this went down. So it really wasn't like, we felt fortunate that we didn't have to all of a sudden start a second business by joining online. It was more like we had to build that business to become as big as our in-store business. And we're still working on that.
And are you selling primarily to people here in Newport still, or is it kind of across the country?
It's all over. I mean, we ship internationally. We ship to Australia and Sweden. You know, we've been offering local Rhode Island delivery, and so for that's really kind of helped with our local business here in Newport and maintaining kind of a local presence. But outside of that, I mean, we ship all over.
Yeah, yesterday I had like 4 or 5 international orders that I sent out. So yeah, it's crazy. Like it's actually been so nice to see how many people in Newport have switched to shopping online since this went down. Because before it was kind of like very 2 different businesses. It was like online, which was outside of Rhode Island, and then in store, which was within Rhode Island. And now it's both. We've seen so many people that we would see in the store order online, but also people in Newport that we don't even have in our system that have never come in that have been shopping online, which is amazing. And then outside of Rhode Island, you know, in the rest of the US, and then even internationally, we have. So actually, I don't know the exact percentage of how many orders have been Rhode Island, but I think it's but definitely a minority of our orders.
Yeah.
But that's great. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And shipping internationally. I mean, the kind of the branding that you have with the clothes that you carry. I mean, it's a pretty global.
Yeah.
I'm sure in Australia, obviously a bunch of
Yes.
coastal towns there, so that makes
Yeah.
100% sense that people would be attracted to your brand there. So are you open now?
So we are not. So we're
Okay.
not open for in-store shopping.
Okay.
Dakota and I still go to the store, particularly to manage a lot of those online orders and also just great working space. But for the time being, we're taking everything day by day. And I think for us, Dakota and I had a conversation really early on in terms of just really prioritizing safety in this time period and really wanting to make sure that when we do open our doors, whether that is going to kind of look like, appointment only or, what have you, we just want to be 100% or as 100% confident in that decision.
Right. Well, I mean, it's very, we were talking about this earlier, it's very kind of shades of gray right now as to how this works and having to enforce the wearing of masks. I mean, a whole nother layer to all of it. So it makes sense that you're taking it slow. With the phase 2, do you foresee that kind of being the time period where you'll start to think about having the store open to the public, albeit by appointment or what have you?
We haven't really made a decision about a date yet. We definitely won't be opening on June 1st when phase 2 is supposed to start. For us, it's just such a tricky decision. And I think we just would rather be overcautious rather than, open up and have regrets. So for now, we're just like watching how the opening does in the rest of the state and seeing how the numbers do and seeing how, kind of taking lessons from other businesses, seeing how they're doing things. We feel so fortunate that we did have that online presence and that we have these platforms to be able to still cater to our Rhode Island shoppers with our, delivery. We may open up for pickup at some point. We're just right now keeping very, basically the most abundance of caution that you could, especially since we, it's a small space and we just want to be very, very cautious about our team and keeping our customers safe. But that all being said, we're so excited about so many of these virtual shopping appointments that we've been having. So because it's just Natalie and I in the store, we've been doing video, call, text, like any kind of style consultation, we can do it virtually now. So we've been doing that for customers, which has been so much fun. And as time goes on, we'll see when it feels like the right time to open up. But we've just been so grateful for everyone local that's been supporting us in other ways.
Because you two do consultations as well, right? So walk me through that. Now it's a virtual consultation. You'll be in the store. The person calls you, FaceTimes you, or what have you. And
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to offer it on a multiple types of platforms in the sense that we understand we're very comfortable doing a video call just like this, but if someone would rather text in or email in and just have questions about certain items that they're shopping, we're obviously open to that too. So we have a tab on our website that's for styling appointments, and you can go in and just reserve 30 minutes in whatever medium you want, and you just give us your sizing, maybe anything that you are particularly interested in, whether or not you're looking for work, like clothes that you can wear to work or clothes for an upcoming vacation, what have you. And so from that information, we will pull items and kind of talk through the fit of items. And then depending, there are no minimums. No one needs to purchase anything. There are no fees to do this. It's just very much kind of as it would be as though you walked into this space and are kind of just asking our opinions about different pieces for a certain event.
That's great. And so if people choose however many items, you then send them to them and they can try them on and they can return them if they don't quite fit well, or okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you're local in Rhode Island, we'll schedule a drop-off time for us to drop off the items as well.
Wow. Now I imagine, thinking about the future of retail, I would be much more comfortable with that. I mean, when you think about the larger stores and people perusing and people touching things, like now we're all so focused on exposure to other people. So you kind of keeping it limited to just you two and your staff, that
Yeah.
probably would make a lot of people a lot more comfortable with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we early on, I had my sister-in-law's birthday was coming up, so my mom and she, you know, and it was kind of like early on, so we wanted to kind of use it as a trial run for one of these appointments. And my sister-in-law, I mean, she's got her, you know, my niece and nephew that she's taking care of while we're talking through items, and she's like, this is the best way for me to shop, because she can't, you know, with her kids, she can't really go into the store and have like a seamless, you know, a nice experience, and then it's just finding time. So she was thrilled with the whole setup of the shopping experience.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely going to change the future of retail. Like right now we're working with, especially us, since we're being so cautious, we're working with just virtual right now. And as you said, we're hoping that will make everyone feel very safe, because we're following so many precautions, and it's so limited who is being in contact with the clothing. We're also steaming the clothing at high temperatures whenever even we touch it. So it's so cautious right now, but going forward in the future, we are so excited for a future where we can all be in the store and we can go back to that really fun shopping experience. But I don't think that any of these things will go away now that we have these new tools. It's like we're all getting more comfortable shopping in different ways. And so for us, at least, like we've talked about it, like we never did delivery in the past. Like I think we'll now always do delivery in Rhode Island because we offer it now. So why would we take it away? And same thing for the virtual shopping appointments. You know, in the past, you could only really get that service if you were local to Newport, or you were visiting Newport, or you knew about our brick and mortar store. But now all our customers that are anywhere could have this service. And so it's exciting when you look at it that way, that we're building these new tools and getting comfortable with new ideas. And so in the future, when we can do all of it together, it's just that much more choice when it comes to how you like to shop.
Yeah, especially, you know, I mean, depending on how long the policy of wearing masks goes for.
Right.
Yeah,
people would be a lot more, you know, some people would definitely be a lot more comfortable just staying at home and allowing to pick out things, especially as we go into the summer. I mean, I think about wearing a mask going into stores and how hot and sticky and uncomfortable.
Oh, definitely.
I feel, you know, so
absolutely.
that you're switching, or you're offering that option. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Definitely. I think too, the other part of it for us, number one thing is safety, but the other thing is we also are so protective of the shopping experience that we like to offer. And so part of it too is that we don't want to have to police people and say, like, you know, put on your mask, wear gloves. Like we just don't really want to have to do that as part of our experience. So if we're virtual, we don't have to. You know, we can all do whatever we're comfortable with and just not have that fear in the back of your head, or you know, you're doing something right, or you know, are you being safe? Like it just kind of gets rid of all that for now. So we're trying to, you know, so much of our brand is about being easy and carefree, and so much of our clothing is about that, and our shopping experience is about that. So right now it's a little bit harder to be carefree. So the easiest way to do that is, you know, by staying home and doing it like this on video.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just going out in general, whether it be to a store or a restaurant or even the supermarket, I mean, it's all very stressful at the moment because there's so many unknowns, and some people are willing to follow, you know, common courtesy, which is now other people aren't. And I mean, it would make the experience definitely not as comfortable as doing it online. That's fantastic for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, Natalie, Dakota, thank you so much for talking with me today. Good luck with everything, and hopefully I can book one of those online appointments with you.
Yeah, we would love that. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.